Welcome to Change Your Story, the podcast that helps women build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life from the inside out.
I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition educator, and mindset mentor, and I am here to help you feel strong, confident, and free in your body, not by starving, shrinking, or punishing yourself, but by training with a purpose, eating with a purpose, and having faith through the process so you can change the way you see yourself forever. Inside this podcast, we break free from diet culture, perfectionism, and all the stories that have held you back. We rewrite the new ones rooted in truth, strength, and self-love. You will hear real talk, faith-fueled encouragement, proven fitness and nutrition strategies, and the mindset tools you need to stay consistent, stay focused, and believe in yourself again. If you are ready to stop starting over, build a life you love, and finally change your story, you are in the right place. Let's build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. Let's rewrite your story. What is up, my girlies? Welcome back to the podcast today. We are on part 8 of the Real Work series. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. And for all my new girlies, welcome. I'm so excited that you are sharing your ears and your heart and your mind with me today. And for all my returning girlies, thank you so much for your love and your support. And I'm glad that you're coming back. I'm glad that this is impacting you. My only ask is if you would take 2 seconds right now, pause this, go rate me, go leave me a review, share this on social media or with 3 friends that you know that it would impact. If it is impacting you, share. I would be super grateful. That's how the podcast gets found by other women just like you looking for it. That's how these platforms work. They need your ratings, they need your reviews. So it supports me as I share these messages, as I share education, wisdom, lessons. I love this. This is my absolute passion, is being able to get into your heart and your mind and help you rethink a new way, so that you can love yourself at a whole new level. And so let's get into today's episode, you guys. Today we are talking about why you are not unmotivated. You are just avoiding yourself. And you might have clicked on this episode because you're like, well, tell me why I'm not unmotivated. Tell me what's wrong with me. And we're going to get into that today. But before we get into the episode, I really want to take a moment to talk to you about the Fit Club. Because the Fit Club is not just a health and fitness app. It's not just workouts. It's not just nutrition. The Fit Club is really a space and a place that I wanted to create for women to build a healthy relationship with yourself. Inside the app, of course, you're going to find strength training, Pilates, nutrition education, structured programs, journals, devotionals. You're also going to get weekly mindset coaching, conversations like this, tools to help you slow down, reconnect, and build trust with yourself. We have an amazing personal growth, self-love book club with amazing women from all over. And it just gives you a chance to connect with other like-minded women that are on this journey too. And I believe in the power of numbers, and when we're surrounded by women on that same path, I believe that we get there a lot faster because we can learn from one another. It's a community of women who want to feel empowered and grounded and aligned, not just physically in your body, but mentally and emotionally too, who all want to just be aligned in our lives, in our bodies, with our goals, with our dreams. And so if you're listening to this right now and thinking, yes, this is what I've been craving, the Fit Club I built for you. This is a space and a place I want you to feel at home with. I want you to come and you look forward to it and you get excited about what your devotional is for the day, what your coaching lesson is for the day, maybe what your workouts are, maybe finding a new recipe, maybe learning a little bit about nutrition, maybe learning a little bit about training, maybe just connecting with other women. Everything will be in the show notes, including a 7-day free trial to the Fit Club app so you can try before you buy or try before you commit. But just remember, when you commit, you're not committing to a platform. You are committing to building your relationship with yourself. And so let's get into the episode. I just want to kind of reiterate what we talked about last episode. And so in the last episode, we talked about the most important conversations you'll ever have is the conversation that you're having with yourself, your inner dialogue. That's the voice that's always running in the background, whether you're aware of it or not. And so today's episode, we're building directly on that conversation. Because here's the thing, once you become aware of the story that you're telling yourself, the next question becomes, why do we avoid ourselves in the first place? Because once you start hearing the story you're telling yourself, you begin to notice how often you avoid slowing down enough to really be with yourself. And that avoidance is what most women are calling lack of motivation. I am reading right now. So in book club, in the Fit Club, we're working on our mindset, our thoughts, our subconscious mind, the way we think. And I chose Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life by Bob Proctor. I've listened to this book. I've read this book. I'm reading this book again and listening to this book. And there's a quote that I absolutely love. And he quoted someone else. I forget who it was, but it goes like this. If I want to be free, I gotta be me. Not the me my kids want me to be. Not the me my husband wants me to be. Not the me my friends, coworkers, or clients want me to be. I've gotta be me. And if I'm going to be me, I better know who me actually is. And I loved that because most women think that their problem is motivation. I just can't stay motivated. I know what to do, I just don't do it. I start strong and then I fall off. Or it's just in my genetics, or it's my hormones, or it's my age, or there's tons of excuses in there. But here's the thing. What if motivation isn't the problem at all? That's why I titled this episode, Why You Are Not Unmotivated. You are just avoiding yourself. Because avoidance isn't laziness, ladies. It's protection. And busyness feels productive when being alone with ourselves feels unsafe. And so in today's episode, I want to walk you through 3 areas we disconnect from ourselves and how disconnection shows up as lack of motivation. Are you with me? Are you excited? You can have a pen, a paper. This stuff is good stuff. This all comes from my personal year of growing with myself and over the years. And so I hope this really helps you, enlightens you, impacts your heart and your mind today. So we're going to move through these 3 areas in very intentional order. 1 is called breath, okay? 2, stillness, meditation. 3, body and movement. Because this is the order that our relationship is built. And I'm in relationship, I mean to ourself, our body, our spirit, our self. Okay, so we're going to go over breath first. And so I was really thinking about this, and I'm excited to talk about breath work. I could probably do a whole podcast on breath work itself, but here's the thing. I was thinking about, what if breath work isn't something that you just do, right? A lot of the time we take it for granted too. What if it's not something you do to calm yourself down, or when people say just breathe for anxiety, but what if it's something you do to give yourself life? Because if you think about it, breath is life, is it not? And so without breath, we die. We can go without food and water for a long time, but not breathing. I don't know how many of you has tried to hold their breath. When we're kids, we do it for fun. We hold our breath. We practice holding our breath underwater. We have capacity for it. It's fun. We play with our breath. And as we become adults, we lose the connection to our breath. And so many of us are living holding our breath. I want to ask you, how many of you have been told, don't hold your breath, breathe? Like, I know with working out and with clients, I'll be like, don't hold your breath, big breath, like breathe. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize I was bracing, right? Suddenly you notice how tense you are, how tight your body feels, or maybe you have your hands clenched or your jaw clenched. That's also a sign that you are holding your breath. You notice how shallow you breathe, or if you try to breathe deep, you don't know how. It's like you just don't know how to breathe. You don't know how to connect to the life force within you, and it's our breath. And I get this at such a deep level because this was me. I had no idea how to breathe properly. And, growing up, I lived in constant state of fight or flight. And so shallow breathing wasn't a choice. It was survival. I didn't even realize that that's how I was learning to restrict life from myself, right? Subconsciously, I probably felt always in a state of not worthy of being alive or that I was wanted. And so I was restricting life to myself. It's just crazy like I could go into, like I said, I could go into this in depth, but I won't today. And so, you know, I, I lived with shallow breathing. It wasn't a choice. It was survival. I wasn't aware of it. I just lived that way. And then I started Pilates. Okay. I know some of you have heard my Pilates story. I started Pilates because of an injury, and my mother-in-law kept, encouraging me. She loves Pilates, and I was so against it because I wasn't against it, but as a bodybuilder, and there's only one way, and Pilates doesn't build muscle. And I really had to shift my perspective. And I heard so many amazing things about Pilates with injury, so I thought I would give it a try. And then Pilates cracked everything open for me, okay? Because Pilates is all about breath. So when I started practicing Pilates, I actually started practicing Pilates. I just signed up for a certification because that's the way that I do things. If I'm going to learn it, I'm going to get certified in it. And so Pilates is all about breath work. And I realized very quickly that I didn't know how to breathe. I was so frustrated because I couldn't do a lot of the movements because I couldn't breathe. It was really frustrating. And, I'm fit. I can move my body. But I couldn't do a lot of the Pilates movements in the beginning because every movement is connected to breath. And we call something called diaphragmic breathing. You have a diaphragm, that's a muscle, and I'll get into that later. And it sits underneath at the bottom of your rib cage, underneath your lungs, underneath your heart. And it's a muscle, which I learned that, didn't know that. And it can get really tight when you're not using it properly. And I couldn't breathe into my diaphragm, the back of my ribs. We call this 360 breathing into my pelvic floor. I could do shallow breathing into my chest. And it was exhausting because I had to connect to my diaphragm. I had to learn how to inhale deeply and exhale completely, and I couldn't. It felt hard. I felt frustrated with myself. This is also the year, at the beginning of the year, when I really decided to really commit to fully falling in love with who I was and dealing with any healing and stuff that needed to come up. This has been the best journey, by the way. It's something I avoided for so long. This kind of goes with this whole series of avoiding yourself. And when I stopped avoiding myself is when I found healing and wholeness. And so Pilates cracked that open for me because of breath work. Because I realized I was so disconnected from the very thing that gives me life. And so during my meditation recently that I was really thinking about, I thought about this, how easy it is to take breath for granted. Something that we can't see our breath, something that we don't have to tell ourselves to breathe it. We just automatically do it. It's the thing, it's life force within us. It keeps us alive. Thinking in my meditation, as I was breathing deeply and breathing into my diaphragm, which I couldn't do a year ago, and how it just energized me and how it made me feel connected to God even more, like my higher power, whatever you believe. I felt connected to something just so much greater and my highest self. And I just thought, what a blessing it is to be able to fill my lungs with air. Like, holy moly. I was thinking about, how I have full authority over my breath, right? I can choose how deeply I breathe. I can choose to slow it down. I can choose to fill myself up. And unless it's taken away, I am in full control of that. And then I thought, how often do we take our bodies for granted? In the same way. Our fingers that can pick up things, our arms that can hug our babies, our lips that can give kisses, our legs that carry us, our lungs that receive air, our hearts that beat without us asking. And yet we spend so much time tearing our bodies down, criticizing, judging, instead of honoring what they allow us to be able to do and to be. And then this question landed in my head too. What if the way we breathe and the way we treat our bodies is mirroring how disconnected we are from life itself? Stay with me. Because when we are present, when we are grateful, we are connected. Am I right? Everything shifts. Your whole energy shifts. Here's the thing, a miracle is just a shift in perception. And breath work is often where that shift starts to begin. I want you to notice something for a second, okay? How many of you resonate with the word restricted? You feel restricted in your body. Maybe you feel restricted in your finances. Maybe you feel restricted in your energy levels, in your life. Can I get are a lot of you going, oh, yeah? What if those things aren't actually restricted? What if you are restricting something first? Because breath is life moving through you. And when breath is shallow, when it is held, when it is rushed, life is restricted. And a lot of the time, we're not blocked by the world around us. I would say 100% of the time. We are actually blocked because we've been cutting ourselves off from our own life force. That lands, right? And this is why breath work is often where shifts begin. Because breath brings you back into your body, back into the present, back into yourself. Breath is the doorway. And once you are back in your body, once you are present, stillness becomes possible. Because here's the truth. The only way to speed up in any area of your life is to slow down. And this is where meditation comes in. I want to clear something up, okay? You are meditating all day long, whether you realize it or not. Meditation isn't about not thinking. It's not about clearing your mind, ladies. Meditation is about what you are constantly meditating on, right? The story you replay, your inner dialogue, what we talked about last week. A lot of us are meditating on and rehearsing negative stories in our head. It's the dialogue that you are sitting on. It's the thoughts that you return to over and over and over again. And that's what you are meditating on. And so for me, meditation actually became a place where I practiced my breath work first. I would put on binary beats or solfeggio frequencies. This helps with the alpha, beta, theta parts of your brain to put you into relaxation, calm anxiety, help you manifest better, connect to your higher power. And I would practice my breath work in this meditation. And in this space, in this meditation, I was focusing on my breath, but I wasn't trying to silence my mind. I wasn't trying to do it perfectly either. I was just breathing. I was doing different techniques of breathing. I was sitting with myself. And again, like I said, is that the fastest way to speed up in your life is to slow down. Here's an analogy. If you are lost, speeding up will not help you get there faster. Right? Am I right? If you are lost in your life, if you are overwhelmed, if you are not aligned, speeding up is not going to get you there faster. Busyness will not get you there faster. Overbooking your schedule will not get you there faster. Stopping will. Stopping. And meditation is that pause. I hear women say all the time, meditation is boring. I'm not a meditator. I can't sit still like that. Here's the thing. Maybe you have said that. I'm going to tell you what you're really saying. I don't know how to be with myself. Because meditation isn't boring. I'm telling you, it's transformative. Stillness is so powerful. But here's the thing. Stillness exposes what's already there. It's like being in a relationship with a big elephant in the room. You both know it's there. You both feel it. So instead of talking about it, you distract. You stay busy, you avoid, and then you wonder why things feel so disconnected. I know you get this analogy. We've all been there in relationships, whether in marriage, whether in significant others, whether in friendships. This is why things feel off. You feel disconnected. This was why life feels off, why nothing feels aligned. That's what we do with ourselves. Stillness removes the distraction. And suddenly you hear the story, that dialogue, right? And if you don't listen to the story playing in your head, that story will be the thing that runs your life. That's what you will default to every time something comes up, every time something gets uncomfortable. And so meditation allows you a space and a place to build awareness. And awareness creates a space for you to make changes. Awareness creates space for clarity. And when we have awareness and clarity, transformation can happen. And so meditation will become this part of you where maybe you just start with your breath practice, and then you're alone with your thoughts, and you notice that you're thinking a lot of negative things, or you're finding you're anxious or thinking about all the things you have to do in the day. That's a story too. So you can write that down too. So it becomes this place where you can start to sit quietly with yourself, listen to that relationship with yourself. Is it one that you want to have? Or do you want it to be better? What do you want with your life? I did this a few episodes ago. Like, what do you want, right? What do you want? Figure out what you want from your life and realize you're the only one that can give it to you. But you have to go in before you can get out. The only way out is in. Here's the thing about awareness. Awareness doesn't exist just to be understood, ladies. It exists to be expressed. Once you become aware of your breath, aware of your thoughts, aware of the story that you've been living in, that awareness has to go somewhere, correct? And the place it goes first, can you guess it? Your body. Because your body is where everything you've been thinking, feeling, and believing has been living. Your body holds patterns, it holds tension, it holds habits. So movement isn't separate from the work. It's how the work becomes real. And this is where we stop just noticing and start relating. And that brings us to the third area where we feel disconnected from ourselves, our body. This is where everything comes together. A lot of the time, ladies, we say we don't have time to work out. What we really mean is we don't have time for ourselves. We avoid our bodies. We avoid being in our bodies. Workouts aren't something that you are doing to your body, okay? They're the time that you are spending with your body. What if movement became a way to say thank you? Thank you to your legs for carrying you. Thank you to your arms for holding the people that you love. Thank you to your heart for beating. Thank you to your lungs for breathing. What if exercise wasn't punishment but presence? Here's the thing. You don't get to demand transformation from your body. You don't get to demand transformation from something that you haven't built a relationship with. You haven't built a relationship with your breath, with stillness, with movement. Remember, there's an ebb and flow to it, just like life. Alignment happens when you stop forcing and you start relating, working out, moving your body. It's just time spending with yourself. Instead of thinking about it being something that you have to do or something that is like dreadful, replace it with it's time that you get with yourself. It's time, it's a space and a place where you build not only your body but your relationship to your body. It's time spending with yourself. When you're in a relationship, if you don't spend time with the person, there's no relationship. If you don't listen in the relationship, there's no relationship. If you don't do those things and spend time and listen and build that trust, how can you expect to have self-love? How can you expect to feel connected? How can you expect to feel motivated? See, you are not unmotivated. You actually have more motivation than you'll ever realize. The problem is you keep running from yourself. You keep avoiding the relationship with yourself mentally, physically, through your breath, through stillness, through moving your body. Quit avoiding yourself. If we avoid people, they stop coming around. If you feel disconnected or like you're lost, it's time to slow down, go within. Because the only way to speed up in the areas that you want to see growth is to slow down. The only way out is in. So I want to leave you with something simple today, not overwhelming, not complicated. 5 minutes a day. I want you to try this, okay? Promise you'll try this and then let me know how this impacts you, okay? Because this is what I started with and it's transformed me. 5 minutes a day. I want you to breathe. All right, in the app, I'm going to be putting some breath work in there, different types of breath work. It's going to get fun. I'll put some solfeggio frequencies in the background, a meditation that you can listen to, and it's going to talk you through breath work. So 5 minutes a day, as soon as you wake up, get your coffee, whatever your morning routine, and put a timer on and breathe intentionally. You can start with however you want, in through your mouth, out through your, or in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just remember, inhale deeply, exhale completely. And as you breathe, bring in gratitude. Thank your lungs, thank your heart, thank your body, everything from the top of your head to your toenails. Think about everything that if you lost, you would be devastated. That you're so grateful for those things that maybe you have taken for granted, even your breath, right? Bring yourself into breath work, but also gratitude. And this is also kind of combines into meditation. This is a form of meditation, stillness, being still with yourself. And then I want you to have a little journal there. After breathing, I want you to write down what comes up. Thoughts, feelings, awareness. Did something come to you? Did you notice something negative? Or did you feel better? Did you feel more grateful? Did you feel elevated? Did you have more energy? Here's the thing. There's no right or wrong thing. Whatever comes up, you were meant to see, you were meant to feel. Okay? And then the third thing, move your body. Later on in the day, go and move your body with intention. Not to burn calories, not to fix yourself, but just to spend time with yourself. Say, no, I'm busy. I'm going and spending 30 minutes with, you can make up a name, and that's your time with yourself. I'm going to spend time with myself. I'm going to give back to this body that takes care of me. I'm going to build my relationship with myself. I'll finish off again, and I'll keep saying this. You are not unmotivated. You are not lazy. You have just forgotten how powerful it is to be present with yourself. And in the next episode, I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about where these patterns, where they come from, the avoidance of these patterns come from, right? The belief system that taught you to disconnect in the first place. You don't need to push harder. You need to remember who you are. That's it. That's all. Share this with 3 friends. Tag me on social media. Don't forget to leave me a rating and review. And until next time, bye for now. Have an amazing day.